we've got some inconsistencies in the formatting for the dates here. Now, before we set up a form to make entering this data much easier, it's worth spending a little bit of time setting up some guardrails to stop you from entering the information in the wrong format. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click up here on the column reference tab and then tap on this paintbrush. Then from here, just come down and tap on format. And this allows me to determine the format of any cells in this column. We've got lots of choices here, and I'm going to demonstrate most of them in this video. But this, of course, needs to be a date and time. And if I tap on the I here, we can fine-tune exactly how it's displayed. I think I'm going to have these set to this bottom one down here. And we can see that's automatically applied to both now. And this is going to help when we fill out data in our form, because it's always going to have the correct format in there when we can't see other information to use as a reference. Now I'm going to do the same here for artists. I'm going to tap with the paintbrush. And this one, probably okay to leave it at automatic, but I'm going to be complete and thorough, and I'll set this as being text. And I'm going to quickly do the same for album. Now this genre, this is going to be a little bit different. I want this to be a pop-up menu, so that I can select from some predefined choices. And we can see that because I've got rock and new wave already in the sheet, it's picked them up as options. So I'll tap to add a new one. This one's going to be indie. Then I'll tap add new item again. And this one will be classical. And you can use these drag handles if you wish to rearrange the order that they appear in. Next, we have the purchase price. And this one is going to be currency. And you'll see lots of options down here. So the currency symbol is going to be the British pound. Then we can choose how many negative numbers are going to display. We're not going to be having those in here, of course. So I'll just come back and tap currency. Next, I want to rate the record's condition. And this is a perfect use of the star rating. And you'll see it's automatically converted those top two to a 4 and 5 star display. Now, times played, this I think is going to be just a standard number. And there are lots of options here for how that can be formatted, but nothing that I need for this example. Now for score here, I think there's a couple of options that we can have to make sure that these are entered correctly. So if we choose a slider, you'll see a slider with a minimum and maximum amount. You can increment it up then by a value of your choosing. And then if you use a stepper, you simply click a button to increase or decrease, again by an increment of your choosing. So let's go for a slider on this occasion. And then in here, you have to determine the minimum value. So I'm never going to have an album that I'm less than 50% happy with. So I'll say 50 is going to be the lowest. Then I'll set 100 as the maximum. And then the increments is going to go up in increments of 5. There we are. Then this one here for played today. Well, this is either a positive or a negative response. So ideal for a tick box. Now we'll have to go in and change the values for those two that are already in there. Okay, I've just paused and deleted those rows that were at the bottom of this table, and you can see how this looks as you move it across to the right. Again, as I say, not very easy to read or indeed to enter data. Now we're going to simplify that by adding a form. So I'm going to tap on plus, and from here I can add a new sheet or a new form. Of course, I want a form. And here we can do one of two things. We can create a new blank form, which in turn is going to create a new table or sheet. But as we just spent some time building our own table within a sheet, any tables that are contained within that sheet are going to be listed down here. So vinyl record collection is the only table I have in sheet 1, since it's the only one on display. But I'm going to tap it and tell me that data does not look much better. As I swipe down, everything is presented in a much more readable form. Now I'm currently looking at row 1 of 2. It says that up here. So if I come down and tap on plus, you'll see it doesn't add it at the end. I'm now adding a row directly below the other one. But let's see how much easier it is to enter in our information. I'll tap on the date acquired field. And because it's configured to be a date, I don't need to change the keyboard. We've got buttons on the top row to increase or decrease time periods like day, month and year, etc. And I can even tap today to automatically put in today's date. You can see the format it's been added as. However, when I tap on the next field, it changes the format to the one that I'd requested. Then I'll type in the artist here. And if I tap enter, it's going to take me down to the next field where I can enter some physical text. So I'll type in the name. Now genre should be a pop-up menu. And down here we can see the options I've configured. So this one's going to be indie. Then purchase price, I'd set this as currency. So naturally I've got a currency keypad here that I can use. I won't enter the pound sign because I know that once I'm done, it's going to be added for me. And you'll see I pressed enter there and it skips over the condition field because I can't enter any text in that field. It's something I need to physically tap. So I'll just come up and give this 3 stars. Then times played, I'll just pop in a value. And again, I shouldn't really press enter there because it's taken me to the top now. And that's because these last 2 values aren't text entry ones. So the slider, as I slide this across, it goes up in our increments of 5. Then play today is just a simple yes or no with the tick box. If I want to see how that looks in the sheet, I can just tap on the sheet here and you can see it's been added into row 2. And if I come back, you can use these arrow keys to move between the rows. So it's exactly the same data, just a different viewpoint. Now I've just paused and added some more in there. It didn't take long at all. And you'll see those are also able to be viewed on sheet 1. Same data, different view.